The CoinDesk Spotlight is brought to you by Nexo, the place to earn on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more.
Solana Labs is building a Web3 mobile phone. Solana Labs CEO Anatoly Yakovenko, founder of the Solana blockchain, made the announcement last week when Lawrence and I had a chance to ask about the reception. Have a listen.
It's been awesome. I mean, I'm surprised some of the people with .eth handles are very positive on this and having fun with it. The memes are good. We had over 1,500 pre-sales, orders, in less than 24 hours, which also blew my mind, in terms of expectations. So it's awesome. Things are going really well.
So give us some, I guess, key highlights from this phone when it launches. What people can expect out of it.
The cool thing that we're doing, I was one of the first people to work on the T-Mobile G1 device. I don't know if you guys remember when Android was launched. I was still at Qualcomm at that time. It's an awesome operating system, and I think it's been getting better and better. The latest Material UI is, I think, better than the iPhone. The cool thing that we're doing is we're taking stock Android, everything works, all the Google services continue working, and we are adding secure element to store your seed phrase. So this now has the security of a hardware wallet. We're adding a wallet connector, which allows dApps and wallets to connect through the secure element. An app store for decentralized applications called the Solana dApp Store, which doesn't have these excessive fees on Web3 applications. And these are kind of the core. Go ahead.
So I mean, just to step back, you're basically describing it's essentially still an Android phone with Solana built on top of it, correct? Is that the best way to think of it?
As the least amount of changes we can. That's the approach we're taking, because I think Android is a wonderful OS, but what it's really missing is the UX of self-custody. All the stuff that is magical about crypto, right? Magical about NFTs and digital ownership and Web3, it all depends on self-custody. And the user experience around self-custody is horrible. Even the best versions of it, like Phantom, trying to order something through a web view and deal with all this stuff, it's still very clunky. And what do you imagine that experience looks like when there's 1 billion people using crypto? It's going to be directly integrated into the device that you use every day, all the time. And this is what we want to bring to crypto today.
So, Anatoly, tell us about the Saga phone and what the Solana mobile stack is, and why is it called Saga?
The Saga Begins just felt like a new chapter for crypto, a new chapter for Solana, see what we can build. I think, the idea for this really materialized when I met Jason, the founder of Awesome. He's a prolific hardware builder, architect of the iPad Pro. He's done crazy stuff, worked on James Cameron's Submarine Door, an amazing hardware engineer. And he was building this device and really wanted to focus on privacy. And when you look at the next 5-10 years, privacy is going to be really important to people because of tech is becoming at every part of our life. And the only way to build really true private applications, really true private protocols, is via Web3. As a Web3 app developer, you don't even think of a user, you think of a wallet connection, and that wallet connection brings all the data. You're not tracking or collecting information. You're letting the user bring what they want to share. And that's really a different development model. So this just seemed like we mind melded and decided that this is the right thing to do at the right time. And it's been awesome working with them.
So a little bit about that privacy. So how would an average user who maybe is not familiar with even crypto explain how they would get this phone, and what kind of privacy features would they have here that they don't currently get on, let's say, a Signal or whatever other applications are using to talk and transmit things?
So
Web3 and I would just be so scared if I lost this phone, because I lose my phones.
So obviously key recovery, the reason why this has to be a custom phone, why we can't do this on top of existing firmware is because we need to implement key recovery and all these security features for users so they're able to manage keys with self-custody and do it in a secure way. And the privacy aspects come from the fact that Web3 applications are private by default. So there are existing great Web2 applications that respect user privacy, like Signal and things like that. But the Web3 applications were built from the ground up, never collecting any user information to begin with. They are not designed to talk to users. They're designed to talk to wallets, which are opaque, 256-bit public keys. And that's a fundamental shift for developers to build. I love platforms. The whole reason I started Solana is because I saw an opportunity to build another platform. Smart contracts is a new way for developers to build new applications. And this is a very important step in that, because right now you can't build these applications in any mobile app store, like true Web3 applications, where digital items are bought and sold, where self-custody is fully integrated into the hardware. And I want to be able to pay for my coffee with any token in my Phantom wallet with tap to pay. Like, those kind of experiences are just impossible. And this is what we're going to bring to the users.
If we go up a little bit and kind of think about how phones work, et cetera, what other ways in which Solana can be applied to, for instance, how they communicate to each other that maybe isn't currently happening, or maybe even a line of business you want to get into?
Well, I think once you start giving users self-custody and having a developer store where developers can take advantage of that they're building true Web3 applications, they're not dealing with app store policies or fees on NFT sales, which don't make any sense. That's going to open up a whole new wave of innovation, and that's what I'm really excited about. And point of building a platform is you kind of don't know where it's going to go. None of us expected in less than a year there'd be 15 million NFTs minted on Solana.
How are you going to get those Apple lovers out there, those Android addicts, to switch to a blockchain phone? Because others have tried in the past to get folks to buy blockchain phones. It hasn't really caught on just yet.
So Awesome on its own built, I think, the best Android phone to begin with. Looking at the comps, this thing should be priced $1,400. It's cheaper than any of the other flagship devices, and it's as good, if not better. The build is it's like a Swiss watch. It's like a beautiful steel. I don't know if you can see it. Just like incredible precision finish. It's awesome.
I want to try it out.
And for the iOS users, this is the hardest problem. But we're targeting crypto people, right? Solana is a crypto community. I see tweets of people saying that for the first time they are willing to switch from iOS to Android, which I've never heard. In all my experience working in Android and building phones, this is the first time I'm seeing those tweets. So I think we're in a stage in crypto adoption that it might be more important than the blue bubble.
What if I lose my phone? Or it gets stolen?
So same thing like with your ledger. There's a BIP39 passphrase recovery. But eventually, with improvements like deterministic biometric scanning and Shamir secrets, and maybe working with folks like FTX to custody part of your secret, we can do much more robust recovery that's much safer. But initially, just think of it as you have a BIP39 style recovery, just like you do with your ledger.
And are you going to have bridges to other chains, or is this purely Solana and a walled garden in the Solana
It's open source. Send me those PRs. Send me those pull requests. Everything's open source. We are more open source maximalist than anything else.
Fingers crossed this doesn't happen, but every time I have an interview with you, the Solana network goes down. So how are you going to prevent a more seamless experience for users, especially if they're using a blockchain phone? They don't want to have to deal with network outages.
Every time we 10x in users, the implementations get stressed. So I hope that continues. I hope we continue 10xing in users. Google Gmail was in beta until 2 billion people because 10x after that is 20 billion.
Okay.
Nonetheless, I mean,
often.
But it is nonetheless a criticism that, hey, you know, that this is a little more centralized than people feel comfortable with potentially. So how do you respond, and how do you lay their fears with a phone now?
Well, the network itself has almost 100x in terms of the number of nodes running it. So it's over half of what Ethereum is today already. And that's the core physical representation of decentralization, because the safety of the user funds depends on at least one of those nodes providing a copy of the ledger with the cryptographic signatures. So in case of any kind of catastrophic failure, Yellowstone blows up, state nation attack or whatever, as long as one node survives with a copy of the ledger, the network can recover. And that physical number of machines is now, I think, like 3,400 or something like that. Ethereum's at 6,000. So it's over half. So at the state where Solana is today, people were calling Ethereum the most decentralized network in the world, right? You know, what was it, 3-4 years ago? So we are already past that threshold where the network is decentralized.
Mm-hmm. Are you just kind of saying, you know, hey guys, we're going to have mass adoption, so expect more network failures as we proceed forward?
I don't. So obviously not, right? As an engineer, we are always trying to make sure that we're ahead of the curve. And if you've seen the 1.10 release, it's been awesome. The network's been flying, and a bunch of new technologies are being activated over the next several months. So quick fee markets, QoS for stake weight, and all of those address kind of the more acute congestion problems that folks have seen over the last 3 months. So we do.
Are you still relying on discords to you know, reset the network, if you will?
If there is a liveness failure, it's up to the validators to figure out where to coordinate.
Okay.
It's an open network, right? So as long as one of them survives, that means that the network can recover. And that's the beauty of decentralization.
Hey, so I know you're not, you know, all developers say they're not concerned with their token price, but, you know, it's a nice thing to have when it's up, and not such a nice thing when it's down. And of course, you guys are I don't want to say tied, but, you know, you have a pretty good relationship from what I gather with FTX, and they've built out a few crypto exchanges. What's your take on all of that? I mean, like, you know, how do you perceive that to have one of your biggest fans out there in the market trying to support the crypto market from collapsing?
That is like, I'm not a finance guy, right? So I don't know. But I'm really excited about working with FTX on enabling Solana Pay in this device, because the kind of visceral experience that crypto people will have when they come up to, you know, a cafe anywhere in the world and tap to pay pops up Phantom, and they can pick whatever token they want and pay with that for that coffee is going to be awesome.
That's Solana Labs CEO Anatoly Yakovenko. The Saga phone will cost around $1,000 and will be available for delivery in early 2023. You can sign up now at solanamobile.com.